Hello and welcome to the Sporting Tribune today here on KIRN 670 AM in Southern California, the Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. My name is Grant Mona. We are here on a Tuesday if you're watching our live stream, Wednesday if you are listening on audio. I got my guy with me. It's just us two again today. It seems like every week we're going to have this, Beav, where it's just me and you talking about some basketball, some football, getting into the Clippers. But Beav, it's good to see you again, man. It's been a few days, but how you doing?
It's been good. Watching these finals, man, being buckled to my seat, seeing how the Spurs and the Knicks is going to turn out, and actually keeping my eye on some NHL hockey as well, man. That series is actually looking good. And, of course, Dodgers. And it's something about this Clippers draft pick that got me very upset with how Clipper fans is moving, and I'm going to express why later on.
Yeah, Beav, listen, we'll get into that, obviously, because that's kind of the main thing why I like having just us two on here, because we can just go on about the Clippers literally all show. So we're going to talk about the fifth pick. We're also going to talk about some of the offseason decisions that Clippers team has to make. I feel like not a lot of people, Beav, are kind of taking that fifth pick decision seriously enough. Everyone's talking about the top four guys and what the Thunder are going to do with their draft pick and what the Warriors are going to do. Nobody's really talking about how tough of a decision it is at that fifth pick. But like I said, we're going to get into that. Beav, we didn't get your thoughts on the NBA Finals for a few days here. We obviously had Game 2 over the weekend. Game 3 was on Monday. Obviously, Game 3 was, in terms of the theatrics, it was probably one of the most watched games of the past decade. ESPN announced that Game 2 was actually the most watched Finals Game 2 since 2018. Obviously, that was Warriors and Cavaliers. So it's been a while since we've had numbers like that. But in any case, Beav, it is now 2-1. The Knicks had a chance to go up 3-0, kind of put the series out of reach. What are your thoughts so far on the series and then Game 3 specifically? The Spurs finally got a win in this series. Do you think that this matters at all? Does it change your thoughts on your prediction or anything?
It doesn't change anything on my prediction, just because you're seeing a young team finally mature in the playoffs. You're seeing a young team finally develop in front of your eyes. I'm going to start with Victor. Victor showed up and showed out. As much as people looked at the incident when Brunson, to me, it was like a more comedy scene from Austin Powers kick Wee Man, Mini-Me. But if you're looking at this, you're starting to see these young, I call them young pups, or people say young coyotes, finally show their teeth. And they're showing it in different ways, right? And they're starting to show it on the defense end when it comes to Brunson. Brunson, if you're noticing, he's dribbling more. He was actually dribbling more in that game than any other game that I've seen. The ball was flowing with the Knicks, right? He was dribbling so much that it felt that I was going back in time when Tibbs was the coach. So you're starting to see the Spurs are starting to move a little different, act a little different. And I honestly would say playing on the road takes the pressure off of you. A young team starting at home, it's a lot of pressure on you. So now you're playing carefree basketball, and you're starting to see the results are starting to add up with their first win in the Garden. But again, it was so much going on in the Garden. You had the president showing up, which took away from the team. You had players feeling like they was going through TSA and Secret Service, no bags. Shout out to Cardi B. She got her bag in there, but nobody else got a bag in there. But it was so much going on to where I felt like it was a distraction for the Knicks. So we're going to see how Game 4 boils down to see if the Spurs can capitalize again on this Knicks team. Your back is not really against the wall. You're the away team, and see if you can take home another victory.
Yeah, I think that the Spurs maybe finally found something that they could, I guess, take away from the series, that they can kind of move forward in the series. They got Victor down in the paint a lot more. They kind of realized that if they're going to have to win this series, if they're going to come back in this series, it's going to have to be on the defensive end, right? I mean, we saw those first two games. The Knicks kind of were calculated. They knew which spots they wanted to get to. They knew who to get the ball to. Karl Anthony Towns was obviously great. But Jalen Brunson, first couple games, not efficient, but he was still getting his points. I think the Spurs figured out, like, hey, we have an incredible defense, and there's a reason why we beat the Thunder, because we can lock in on that end. I thought that was one of their better defensive performances of the playoffs. And this is talking about through the Blazers series, through the Timberwolves series, through that Thunder series. I thought the Spurs were awesome on defense. I mean, they were hounding the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks, it felt like they got a little bit too caught up in the moment, right, Beav? I mean, it looked like this Knicks team, and they've played at MSG all year, and I think John was talking about this last night, was that they've played at that arena all year. They know how many people go to these games, the celebrities, and I still feel like Game 3 was at a heightened level. What did you make, Beav? I know you and I love the New York fans and like all the side talk sports and all that stuff after the games and before the games, outside in the streets and everything. But what did you make of the entire event of Game 3? What did you make of the energy in that building?
The energy in that building was good because it's something that the New York Knicks hasn't seen in so many years. You had so many stars show up, and not just the stars. It was something for the fans. But I want to say this as we're talking about this, and New York fans, hear me and hear me well. Y'all have to stop putting your hands on other individuals when they're leaving the Garden. I don't care what rival team it is, but you have to stop doing that because it's creating a toxic environment for a situation that's going to be so good for you when you're winning, right? Everyone wants to see the Knicks win because we want to see how the fans react. But I don't want to see fans reacting by beating up Spurs fans. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you catch an Atlanta fan or another LA fan, it's gonna be a whole different type of vibe because doing that after a game or chasing fans down for simply walking home or cheering for another team, that's not something that's cool. And I honestly feel, and people can say, well, you're looking too far into it. No, I feel like the players should step up and say something in regards to what's going on with the fans, right? You know, the players show up and they say, you know what, we're doing this for the fans. Well, step up and tell your fans, chill out, because if this is going on, then just imagine how it's going to be when the parade takes place, right?
Yeah.
And it's not something you want to see, but going back to what we were talking about in regards to the game, it's a beautiful thing for the Garden. The Garden was rocking outside of heightened security. It was rocking, and it took me back to the time when the Knicks, right, was playing the Spurs, and they had David Robinson and Tim Duncan. And even though they lost, you know, Latrell Sprewell was on that team. Even though they lost, the Garden was feeling like I was back in the day. I could have put on a three-piece tux and sit and have and sit on the court side and feel something special. But it was a good sight to see. And again, like I said, it was so many stars in the building. I wanted to see how Fat Joe was going to act because I didn't see Fat Joe. Fat Joe was toasted in San Antonio. I wanted to see if he was toasted in New York.
I saw that. People were making fun of him because he looked high and drunk out there. But he was that, bro. It was crazy. You know, we've had, like, obviously LA has had a lot of celebrities at, you know, Laker games, and even, you know, I've noticed a lot of celebrities at Clipper games. Like, you know, this when we're at Into a Dome, it's like, oh my God, this and this guy are here. But I just feel like this is at a heightened level. Like this, we may look back on this. I remember there was a video that was circulating. This was like during the playoffs. I don't know which round it was, but it was, I think like you said, the 99 finals at MSG, and they were showing like Celebrity Row back then. And it was incredible how many people were there. Like, I wonder if I can find that. But there were so many people there that nowadays are like A-list people. Back then, they were like just on the come up. Like Leo was in the 90s. Like, he was on the come up and all that stuff. But I just think that got to the Knicks, Beav. Like, I really think that the heightened pressure, I feel like there was pressure on the Knicks. Like, sure, they were up 2-0. But there was, don't you feel like, Beav, there was pressure on the Knicks to get this thing done in front of their home crowd?
Yes and no. The pressure took place because of the President of the United States, because of the center of attention that he brought upon the Knicks. Of course, we knew what the moment was for the Knicks, you know, in Game 3, trying to close it out right then and there. But once you add a new element with the President of the United States in there, added security, you can't go through your pre-stuff like you usually go through because now you can't bring in certain things. You're going through security checks. I might show up to the arena earlier. It's taking me longer to get to MSG. You got people scattering around. That takes players out of sync. And as former players, Grant, you know this, right? If a player has a certain type of style in which he likes to move around, and you subtract that away from me, then it's going to throw everything off. So I definitely feel that was the caveat for Game 3. But when it comes to Star Road, it's one thing I want to see for Game 4, or at least Game, I would say 6. I need Jadakiss and the Locks to come out to come out there and open the game up for the Knicks. I need that. That energy would get right. I need that song performed by Jadakiss and Ja Rule for Game 4 or 6. I need that energy, man. I need it.
Yeah, listen, I mean, everyone was talking about Cardi B at the halftime show, but I just, you can tell me you can't bring anybody else out. Like, what if Jay-Z and Alicia Keys performed Empire State of Mind? Like, what if they performed, like, Now We're in New York? What if they performed that at halftime?
It's not going to be as good if Lil Mama don't show up and crash it.
I know, you can't just have Jay-Z out there.
It can't have Jay, but I feel like that would be good. But I'm telling you, that Jadakiss moment because they had the verses between them that Jadakiss song would set the Garden on fire.
Fabulous. He performed during the playoffs. I forgot I think it was like the conference finals or something. But like, bring them all out.
Yeah, shout out to Charles Barkley. He was in love with Cardi B. It was a clip of Dominique Wilkins asking about Cardi B's sister. And Cardi B had the stars. She had everybody struck, but it was Cardi B stole the show.
Oh man!
Shout out to Cardi B.
Everybody wanted to see the halftime show.
Cardi B shut it down. Win, lose, or draw, we got to see Cardi B. That's how people was feeling that day.
So Beav, do you think that now that we go to Game 4, right? So we're going to a Game 4 where Donald Trump is not going to be there. It's confirmed. Shams confirmed that on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's now going to make the Knicks say, like, okay, no more TSA screening. Like, we got that first game, that home game out of the way. Now we can kind of settle in and play some basketball on our home floor in front of our actual fans. Like, do you think that's how obviously there's going to be stars there. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it kind of gives them a little bit like a deep breath, like, okay, now let's go play some basketball.
That is correct, because it's now no longer a sideshow or a sideshow circus. You get what I'm saying? Everyone show up. You can go to the arena. Like I said, you go back to your rituals of what you used to do, right? You can go back in there, go into the. There wasn't Grant, me and you. They wasn't letting media in the locker room.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
it's like if I can't do what I normally do, I'm not going to perform the way I perform. So now we're at Game 4. It's going to be back to the most smooth, cool New York Knicks team we've seen. But I'm going to tell the Spurs right now, you still need to have your teeth out as sharp as possible, because this team is pissed that they actually took a step back in Game 3. So they're going to be hungry. They're going to be trying to fight because, again, who wants to lose and now make it a 7-game series?
Yeah, listen, I had Knicks in 7 to begin. I think now, like, there's a possibility of that happening. But I will say that I think that the Knicks are going to win Game 4. I have probably been wrong about each of these games. I just had Knicks. I didn't know how it was going to go, Beav. I was just like, yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. But every game, I feel like I've been wrong. I mean, nobody can really predict these. These first 3 were just such a wild card. You could not predict how the Spurs were going to play in each of the first 2, since it was their first finals appearance and however long, and that first run with this group. Obviously, the Knicks got out to that 2-0 lead, but now that it's 2-1, and I kind of saw how the Spurs tamed that MSG crowd and they overcame a lot of those runs that the Knicks had at home, it gives me a little more confidence, right, Beav, about this Spurs team, because like if you go down 3-0, the series is over, obviously. And even if the Knicks go up 3-1, I think the series is over. But I just feel like that maybe gave me a little bit more hesitation on saying that the Knicks are going to win this series convincingly, because the Spurs, I think, showed me a lot. Like, Stephon Castle was fantastic. De'Aaron Fox had that clutch shot down the stretch, but he actually wasn't good for a majority of the game. Wemby was awesome. Like, he was fantastic. But he was also good in Game 2. Just had that turnover late. I feel like that Spurs team was just really sound defensively, and that just gives me a little bit more confidence moving forward. Like, I know I had Knicks in 7, but like I told you, I didn't know how they were going to get there. Now I think it's going to be, shoot, if the Spurs tie this going back home, Beav, to a game 5, do you think home court advantage matters at all in this series? I don't think it does.
Not necessarily, because if you go back to what you were saying, if he didn't have that turnover, it'll be 2-1 Spurs right now.
Right.
So home court, it matters, but it really doesn't matter. What really matters is if we're noticing the pattern of these games, the first and second quarter, right? It's just a bloodbath. We know how that goes, right? Everything takes place in the fourth quarter. If you notice in game 2, it came down to the fourth quarter.
Right.
Game 3, it came down to the fourth quarter because the Knicks went on a run. They actually came back a little bit. And before you know it, of course, the Spurs sealed the deal, but everything boils down to the fourth quarter. And the fourth quarter, if you're thinking about this, I said this prior when we was talking with John and everybody, right? The fourth quarter is the Brunson show. And if you can shut down Brunson, you can basically slow down the Knicks. But if you don't slow down Brunson, it's going to be a long day in hell for you in that fourth quarter, and you're starting to see it pick up, right? That's when other players start to get better, right? Hart, OG, Cat, everyone feeds off of Brunson in the fourth quarter. If you could cut that head off the snake, you can see what necessary transpires, and that's why the Spurs took home that victory.
And Beav, you make a good point about Cat, because I feel like Karl Anthony Towns has been really good defensively against Wemby. Obviously, game 3, I still feel like he contested some good shots. I mean, there's only so much you can do with Victor Wembanyama. But this stat is circulating around social media, and it's staggering. Karl Anthony Towns has not yet scored in the fourth quarter at all in the finals. At all. Like, so first 3 quarters, 50 points, which in itself, you're thinking, like, that's really not that much through 3 games for a guy of his offensive talent. Mm-hmm. But then you go to the fourth quarter, and you're going to tell me he hasn't scored a single point. He hasn't even gotten to the free throw line, Beav.
Listen, I'm telling you,
it is wild. What do you think about that?
It's crazy, and that goes back to my statement of the fourth quarter is the Brunson show. No, stand back. Big body Brunson is taking over. It's crazy to me that you have a big man that's not scoring at all in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. But when you look at it, if let's go back in time a little bit and look at game 3. Mm-hmm. In the fourth quarter, who was getting to the line on the Knicks the most?
I mean, Brunson was, but even McCall had a bad shooting game too. But OG got to the line a lot too, I feel like.
OG is more sharp around the edges, because you gotta remember he came from the Toronto Raptors. He has some champion. He
was awesome in game 3, by the way. He was so
definitely.
Good.
But Karl, I don't know why Karl Anthony Towns is fading away in the fourth quarter, and that could be just a coaching adjustment, simple coaching adjustment. But in my eyes, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't care that you're not scoring. Stop Wemby, make his life uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what they're trying to do. It's like, yeah, okay, we don't care if you score a ton of points. Just be a really good defender and just play off of Jalen Brunson. Like Karl Anthony Towns was 4 of 10 in game 3. He only had 11 points. He had 8 rebounds, but Josh Hart outscored him and out-rebounded him. I don't think that should ever happen.
Well, you got to think, though, Josh Hart is nothing but energy. And when you are a player that plays are not being ran for you, you just find yourself in the right position a lot of times. Like the 3-point shot that he made. I said, Josh Hart don't be shooting threes like that.
No.
And before you know, he's shooting threes, because the name of Josh Hart's game is just to be active, right? And if you want to compare him to somebody that was on the Clippers, it's like Terrence Mann, right? Just be active. Remember when Terrence Mann went for 37? It was no set plays for him. It was just him balling, just him having a day, right? Same thing that we see with the Golden State Warriors, right? There's no plays ran for Draymond Green. What Draymond Green does, just have a day. And that's what Josh Hart does in his whole embodiment of being a Knick. He just plays with energy. You go out there, play with energy, you're going to mess around and get 10, 15 points.
So, Beav, do you think that Spurs have a chance to extend this to 7 games, 6 games? Because you got to think, like, let's just look at the path here. They have to win, 3 of the next 5 games at least, right? So, or 4 games, whatever it is, to even, like, give themselves a chance to get to a game 7. And then in Game 7, we've seen like the Knicks were awesome on the road. So I don't even think, like you were saying, home court advantage matters. I just think that the Spurs now, to me, can make this a series, whereas I didn't really feel like going back to MSG, they had a chance at all.
I would say this: if the Knicks want to win the NBA championship, you will win Game 4. If you want to lose an NBA championship, lose Game 4, and you will see what happens.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, I can almost, like, if the Knicks lose Game 4, Beav, I'm kind of thinking to myself, that's a must-win for maybe both sides, because then the Spurs tie it up with all the momentum going back home. And I know that we just said the home court doesn't matter, but I'm just saying, like, the feeling of going back home. Like, they just feel more comfortable, like, oh, now we got them. We just stole home court back from them.
Yes, and you could take it as this, too. A young team now playing their basketball with their backs against the wall. This something goes back to what Michael said against the OKC series, right? The Spurs all of a sudden likes to play with their back against the wall. They don't like playing with house money. They actually like playing with no money.
Yeah.
And as they start to take your money, they start to gain more momentum.
Yeah, no, I'm just really, I'm curious to see what kind of adjustments the Knicks make, because usually in finals games, Beav, or in final series, you can point to a few things and say, well, if the Spurs do this, if they make this adjustment, or if they pull this string, or if the Knicks do this or that, they'll get back on track. I feel like in this series, there's really no adjustment that they have to make. It's just play better. Maybe get off to a better start. Maybe, I don't know, you can't really slow down Wemby, so do it as much as you did in games 1 and 2. Disrupt him enough. Because for the Knicks, it's just a matter of them in each of the first 3 games getting down by double digits, and in the first 2, they just happen to come back. Like, I don't think you can afford to do that the rest of the series.
I would say keep Fox far away from a three-point line. He needs to continue. I'm so serious. He cannot shoot that 3 to save his life. He needs to stay in the paint and be a menace in the paint. Watching him shoot that free throw shot, that 2-point mid-range shot, it took me back to his time with the Kings. Remember, that was something that he was lethal with. So he needs to go back to his days with the Kings, not the sorry days, but being flashy, attacking the paint, forcing the issue, things that would get you to the free throw line so you can score the basket. The same thing that big body Brunson is doing, even though he's also shooting, but put the pressure on the Knicks. Get Karl Anthony Towns in foul trouble. Make them bring in Robinson. Robinson can't stick in front of Wemby to save his life. You start doing that more, the Spurs will start securing the NBA championship one win at a time.
Yeah, listen, it's just such a good series so far. Coming in, I thought it was going to be such an awesome series. That's why I had it going 7, but I didn't really expect it to, I guess, get to the level of where each and every game could be decided by 1 or 2 things, or one thing goes wrong, because you could make the case that the Spurs have actually been just as good as the Knicks. They just haven't closed games the right way, or they've let up a few runs here and there. And for a team as inexperienced as the Spurs are, I am so impressed by their ability to just, after every loss, after every bad thing that happens, usually young teams crumble, and this team is just not doing it. And that's why I have no prediction on how the rest of the series is go. I made my pre-series prediction, but I don't know what is going to happen from here on out, because from game to game, it could change one way or the other. Momentum is so critical in final series, in playoff series, but let alone the finals, where one bad decision, one injury, one ankle roll, one bad performance can set you back and lose you the NBA Finals. We've seen, I'll go back to 2021. The Suns went up 2-0 in that finals. Everyone's like, oh, Chris Paul's getting his first ring. Booker's getting his first ring. Bucks won 4 in a row and won the whole thing. So we'll have to see. We're going to end segment 1 there for now. When we come back, my favorite part, Beav, we're going to talk about the Clippers here on the Sporting Tribune today.
It's all coming together. Piles of statistics, pages of box scores, years of wisdom right here if I could just find my pen.
What's up?
Oh, I'm just compiling all the top sports scores, news, and odds so I can make the very best bets.
Oh, me too. And done.
What?
BetOnline.ag. The best online betting site.
BetOnline.ag.
A little easier than what you got going on here.
Thanks. Oh. Huh.
Join today and use promo code BETNOW to receive your 50% welcome bonus at betonline.ag.
All right, welcome back to the Sporting Tribune today here on KIRN 670 AM in Southern California, the Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Beav, I've been waiting for this. I mean, every week I feel like we hear a new name at number 5. We hear a new rumor about what the Clippers are going to do with the 5th pick. They brought this guy in for a workout. This guy is dominating workouts. This guy sucks at workouts. They're changing their mind. They don't know what... This is what happens when you get the 5th pick. This is what happens when you luck into a lottery pick like this. So, Beav, I know we've talked to you and John Brown are like the biggest Darius Acuff Jr. fans on planet Earth. Has there been any other players that you've looked at, whether it be Keaton Waggler, whether it be Braden Burries, whether it be Michael Brown Jr., whether it be Kingston Flemings, have any of those guys piqued your interest at all outside of Darius Acuff Jr. at all?
No. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Flemings hasn't crossed my radar not one time. Flemings
I agree with you there. I agree with you.
He is literally a pick that I see going to either the Kings or the Nets, whatever you see fit with that. Brown has been picking up speed. You know, per sources, and I mean multiple sources. I don't know who is who. They say he shut down workouts. He start workouts. I really can care less. I just want to know how good his back is. Yeah. I do not want to pick up a player. By all accounts,
though, Beav, it seems like he's fully cleared and he's ready to go. Like that's why that's what everyone's saying.
I'm gonna say this and hear me well. I do not want to take on a player that's spare parts. I have spent my time with Kawhi Leonard and have been sitting here nursing injuries. I do not want a 19-year-old coming in with back problems and I got to sit here and nurse injuries for him as he's, stepping on the court and things like that. And I'm not knocking his game. The kid has a 3-point barrage that it's very phenomenal. If you see him played in the Team USA game, he was actually doing his thing in that game. But I want the Clippers to stop thinking about fit and just go for talent. Talent will override fit. And what I mean by that is you would put yourself in a beautiful fit situation when you have the correct amount of talent, right? Every time you're trying to find talent, you're going to mess around and miss out. I'm sorry, when you keep looking around for fit, you're going to mess around and miss out on key talent. Straight up. I would say the kid Brown, he has a lot of upside in regards to how he's playing. He can shoot the ball. He actually can move a little better defensive wise. He's solid. Acuff is just pure bona fide scoring. They say he don't play no defense, but I look at the NBA now. I look at the NBA now and say who plays defense as it is now.
Spurs and the Thunder and the Knicks. We're in the finals and conference finals, and that's what we want to get to, right?
That is correct, but then that's when I look down my roster and I see Chris Dunn and I see Derrick Jones Jr. sitting right there at the defense end.
Okay.
So I'm not too afraid when it comes to that.
I am.
The kid from Illinois is very shocking to me because at first there was a lot of praise for him coming out. Right? They say his mock-up was Murray. But then they say his foot, like the way he moves on defense, he moves slow as molasses. It's like he's stuck in the mud.
Not as athletic as a lot of the guys in this bunch, but he's longer and he's more methodical, I feel like.
In so many words, Grant, you describe slow motion. That's all. You basically describe Kyle Anderson in so many words.
That's crazy. Kyle Anderson was never shooting like Keaton Waggler
was. He's not shooting like, but from how y'all describing him, his motion seemed like a slow motion.
Keaton Waggler's got some skills. Like he reminds me, and I'm not comparing the two. Nobody get crazy here, but I'm just saying like he reminds me more of like an SGA methodical as opposed to like bursty and punchy like an Acuff or a Flemings.
Well. With SGA though, SGA plays defense.
Sure.
Like SGA has,
and also Beav, you gotta understand, he I guess, grew into his frame as well. Like SGA was skinny coming out of Kentucky. Remember that his first year with the Clippers, he was thin. And then he grew into his frame and became a really strong player on both sides of the basketball, which I guess, you can kind of project that way with Keaton Waggler too. Again, I'm not projecting that he's going to turn into SGA, but I'm just saying I could see like him growing into a body, if that's what you want to say.
Yeah, I can see it too, but I just don't see it on the Clippers. I'm a high advocate for Acuff. You need scoring. If you look at the Clippers rosters as constructed, you're not outside of Kawhi Leonard and Garland, right? You need another scorer. You don't have a bench player that can come off that bench and get right.
Benedict Mathurin, my guy, and the guy that you don't want back.
I'm talking about homegrown talent.
Come on, man. Benedict Mathurin's 23. You're going to tell me he can't run that second unit? Go out there and crush.
He stinks.
No. Benedict Mathurin's sick.
Benedict Mathurin stinks when it comes time for the playoffs.
Bro, no, that's when he shines, Beav.
He stinks in the playoffs.
That's when he shines. That's when he was awesome with Indiana in the playoffs. He was great in that finals run. I don't even know why we're even talking about this. This is like a for sure thing that in the playoffs, Benedict Mathurin is great. Now, if you were to say over the course of a regular season, there's inconsistencies, of course. Like, I can agree with you there. We saw it at the end of the year, right, Beav? Like, he had some terrible stretches of offense. But to me, Beav, here's why I think that and I know we're kind of getting off here, but the reason why I think Benedict Mathurin is so, I think, crucial to the Clippers is because you got him basically as, I wouldn't say a throw-in, but the centerpiece of this Zubats trade was the 5th pick, or the picks. That's what the Clippers were coveting. They wanted those picks. When you got Benedict Mathurin in that work, first of all, he's a restricted free agent, so they have that flexibility to sign him back, which I think they're going to sign him back. But when you acquire a guy and you barely get to scratch the surface on what he could be at 23 years old, where he already went through a deep playoff run and showed that in big moments he can hit big shots, aren't those the kind of guys, Beav, that you would want on a Clippers team that is trying to get to that point?
I do want that, but we can argue a lot because players do have inconsistency.
Sure,
but I'd rather take somebody with a little bit more consistency than Ben. I don't believe in Ben at all. I do not believe him being a second unit. I would say leader, right? Ben
I don't think he can be a leader, but I just think that the scoring that he gives, Beav, 18 to 20 a game.
I'm gonna get that from Acuff. I'm gonna get 30 from Acuff.
But imagine having both. You could have both, Beav. It's not like you have to choose.
What? No, I'm choosing, and I'm shipping one, and I want to keep Collins. That's what I want. In the world of things, I want to keep Collins.
Well, I would love to have John back. He was awesome.
I want John. If I had to choose, I'd rather take John than Ben.
But hold on, Beav. That you don't have to choose. You can get both and the 5th pick. So then you have Acuff, Mathurin, and JC.
I don't want Ben, and I'm saying this.
You are really out on Ben. Okay, listen.
Ben has to. I'm gonna say this, and hear me well. If the Clippers bring back Ben is on a prove-it deal with me. I need to see at least a good year run.
Okay,
Ben, a year run it. Because, every Clippers team has one player where we just talk nothing but bad things about him the whole time he's on the Clippers, right? Shout out to Austin Rivers. He wore that hat. Marcus Morris. All these players wore that hat for the Clippers, and Ben is literally my nominee for that position.
It's funny. It's funny, Beav. Every year on the Clippers, there's one player that the fans pick to hate on. And I remember it was, like you said, Austin Rivers. And then let's see, the 2020 year, I can't really remember. Maybe it was Patrick Patterson or something like that.
Oh, for sure, Patrick Patterson.
2021, everyone loved because they got to the conference finals, and everyone, maybe Rondo or something, I don't know. But even people liked him. And then 2022, you could start to see the shift of like, okay, you can go down like Amir Coffey or somebody. It's like, oh, and even the 2022 team, people are like, I love this team because there's no expectations. Once you started getting to 23, it was like Marcus Morris. Like, what is he doing on the floor? Where's Rocco? Why is he not playing? Then 2024, it was like, a PJ Tucker. And then last year it was like Amir Coffey. And then this year it's like every single year.
Every year,
one player to hate on.
Ben is that guy. He's going to be that guy until proven innocent.
I already saw it a little bit at the end of the season. People were like, "Oh my god, get him off the floor." I already saw it, bro.
But I would say this: it's a lot of things the Clippers can do. Mm-hmm. We can package up Kawhi and pick up more draft picks, but what I do want, and this is not a shot against other reporters. Well, you know what? Yeah, it is. Stop reporting that the Clippers should trade back. That doesn't make logical sense at all.
Beav, it's a possibility though.
It makes no logical sense at all.
Why not? Why not?
Because in the draft that is guard heavy, it's good for you to take a guard. What do you name me a player trading back for that's going to benefit the Clippers in the long run outside of you drafting pieces now?
Braden Burries or Michael Brown Jr. And you want to know why, Beav? I will just listen. I will tell you why. When the Clippers traded James Harden for Darius Garland, they made a decision, Beav. They said, okay, we have a foundational piece here, maybe not for like 10 years down the line, but a 26-year-old two-time All-Star that has proven in this NBA league, which is hard to come by, that he can be a multiple-time All-Star, which means he's among the best in two years, right? That is very hard to come by in the NBA, where you're getting a proven asset. Now, I understand there's the toe issues and there's the fact that, Darius wasn't 100%, and he even said this, he actually said it to me, that he was playing on 9 toes out there. But I just think that the fact that they traded for that guy and they got him, they want him to be a part of that foundation. Now, I don't mean like be the number one guy for years and years and years and lead them to a title. Maybe not that. Maybe so. But when you get that piece, Beav, you need to supplement that piece. You don't need to take away from it. So I think I'm putting my Clippers front office hat on. Like if I'm the Clippers and I just traded for this guy and I saw like flashes of him being awesome. You saw it too, Beav, when he was playing really well with Kawhi. Like we were like, oh my God, this guy is shooting like Steph Curry efficiency level. You pair him with somebody. You don't take away from it. You put somebody big next to him. You put a bigger body next to a bigger two guard or a guy that can play behind him that kind of fits the physical era that we're starting to get into again. So I think like drafting an Acuff or a Flemings or somebody like that doesn't help the fact that they just traded for a 26-year-old point guard that is a two-time All-Star that I feel like the Clippers want to build around. Right?
If the Clippers want to build around Garland, and this is an honest opinion here, right? You will trade Kawhi to build around Garland. You would not trade.
I understand that, yeah.
You would trade Kawhi to build around Garland, and what I mean by that is to cater to Garland's style, you have to bring him a big, something that we talk about with Luka, right? You have to bring him a big that he can throw a lob to, something that will free him up and free his game up when it comes to things like that. Of course, we drafted one in Giannis, but Giannis is currently out right now, so we're kind of centerless. Bringing back Brook Lopez won't solidify that at all. No. It definitely is a growing part. So now you sit here and think, where can I get a big that is very valuable in the paint and things like that? I'm only looking to call either the Golden State Warriors or the Miami Heat. And I'm really calling the Miami Heat because Ware has proven and has shown that he can shoot the rock from the three-point line, which gives you the aspect of Brook Lopez, but he can also get in the paint and be a high flyer down there as well. You pair him up in a pick and roll game that Ty Lue loves to run so well, that will give you a formula for the future. But how the Clippers are currently constructed right now, and if you end up signing Kawhi and all this good stuff, no, I'm definitely finna go get my point guard for the future right away. I'm not even looking to pair him with nobody, because if I'm going to bring Kawhi back, that's your running mate right there. Let me go get my point guard for the future, because if all hell breaks loose, I would ship everybody out, and I know this rookie's going to come in and take care of business.
Because, yeah, listen, there's no denying that Darius Acuff Jr. is a phenomenal offensive talent, but he's unproven because he hasn't played a single second in the NBA. We know that Darius Garland can play good basketball in the NBA, right, Beav? Like, maybe not last year, but he's been, I know I'm going to keep harping on this because it matters to front offices that there is a piece that we know can play really good in the NBA. That's why a lot of these former All-Stars get chances in multiple opportunities. Even like Ben Simmons was a former All-Star, and he still kept getting, like, the Clippers took a chance because, like, maybe we can get that out of him. Because when you attach that to a player, when you attach the fact that a guy can be an near all NBA level talent, that is when front offices say, okay, this guy's proven. Darius Acuff's not proven. Michael Brown Jr. is not proven. Kingston Flemings isn't proven yet. Now, could they become a multiple-time All-Star? Absolutely. But do you think the Clippers have time right now to be waiting around for like 3 years for a guy to blossom into being a top 10 player in the league or a top 20 player in the league? I think the Clippers want a quick turnaround here. I don't think they want to be sitting around, sitting on their hands being like, well, we'll just take Acuff and we'll let him develop for like 3 years. It's like, nah, maybe we should take Burries and like pair him next to Garland and be awesome next year. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think that's what the Clippers mindset is.
That sounds good in theory, but that's not going to work. You see what happened when you build fast, it crashes just as fast. So take time, go through the growing pains of developing your young talent. I've been saying this forever, Grant, like, develop your young talent. You see what development looks like when you have players that actually get an opportunity to develop in Kobe Sanders. You see what development looks like when you give a player an opportunity like Yannick. You see what development looks like when you give players that you kept around for so long and they finally touch the floor within Jordan Miller. So it's showing you that, yes, you have to go through these growing pains, because a team like OKC, who is just blessed with draft picks because we keep sending them their way, but they're showing you what happens when you develop your talent. You might pick some people up in later rounds that you might not heard nothing of, and they blossom into a key position role piece that you can use in the playoffs. The thing is, the race is not to get to the playoffs, right? Sure. We're done paying OKC our life savings. Now the goal is to solidify homegrown talent for years to come. That way you can now say, hey, this is the Los Angeles Clippers. 3 to 4 years. Now we're here competing for our championship with our young core, versus, hey, this is the Los Angeles Clippers. I'll microwave this. Let's see if this works. I'm tired of the microwave. The microwave doesn't get me nothing but excited. It gets me nothing to buy tickets, but it's not raising no banners in that arena. If you sit here and homegrown your talent, you will see certain things like the San Antonio Spurs that's homegrown. The only team that's still in the NBA Finals right now that's hot to buy was the Knicks, but even then, that's homegrown because they've been playing together since they was in college. So if you're looking at it from a landscape of things, grow it naturally versus is try to expedite your way through it. That Expedia version is not working anymore. You see all these old veterans trying to come together to win, and it phases out faster than it comes together. So don't do that no more.
Okay, Beav, I'm going to put out. We're just going to go like team by team in the playoffs. Okay. In the Western Conference only. I'm not even going to go to the Eastern Conference. Okay. From this year's playoffs, let's go to the 1 seed, the Oklahoma City Thunder. What does their backcourt look like? It was J-Dub, who's a huge guard, and SGA, who's a big guard, 6'7", 6'6", whatever, built. Okay. Go to San Antonio. De'Aaron Fox is tall and long, so I'm going to consider him a bigger guard. Now, he's not physically big, but he's tall and he's lanky. Then you have Stephon Castle, huge guard. Like, he's a man. Then you go to Dylan Harper. He is built. He's a big dude. You go to the 3rd seed, right? You go to the 4th seed. You go to the 5th seed. You go down the list, Beav, of all the teams. Go to the Lakers even. Luka, huge guard. I'm not saying the Lakers built around Luka, but I'm just saying the teams that are good in the West have huge guards. You go to the Eastern let's go to the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Brunson is tiny. Okay, he's small, but he's, like you said, big body Brunson.
Big body Brunson.
Okay,
Big body Brunson.
he's built, okay? And that's probably the best comparison for like peak Darius Acuff. Like if Acuff wants to study anybody, I think there has been reporting out there that he has studied, or interviews that he has studied Jalen Brunson. That's a great comp for him if he wants to get to that level. Okay, I understand that. Donovan Mitchell, he's short, but he's stocky. He's built, right? He's physical. But again, Donovan Mitchell, first time in the conference finals this year. Hasn't had much playoff success as a shorter guard. Then the Celtics, they built their team around two wings. It was Brown and Tatum, huge guys. So my point here, Beav, is that if you go to like the Rockets, you can say it, but Amen Thompson, he's built. That's a big dude.
Big.
Look at Anthony Edwards, 6'6", built, strong. You know, all these, the Denver Nuggets, like Jamal Murray, we can say what you want, like compared to other guys. He's a little bit taller than a lot of guards. He's not huge, but he's bigger, and he's won a title. So my point is that the Clippers have to decide here, Beav. Are they taking this guy to be the guy moving forward, or are they taking him to supplement what they already have? That is the question the Clippers need to ask themselves. Because if they're taking any of these guys that you're seeing on your screen right now to be the lead guy, the only guy that I would feel comfortable being the main guy on a championship team is the guys that can grow into their body and are big. Because that, just based off history, that is what wins championships. Are wings, centers, forwards, and big guards. Steph Curry was the only one to do it. Isaiah Thomas was the only other one to do it. And Brunson could be the third one to do it in the past 40 years.
Big body.
So that's my concern, B. It's not that I don't think that Darius Acuff Jr. is not going to be good. I think he can be an awesome NBA player. But can he be the lead guy on a Clippers championship team? That's the question that we have to be asking, because the whole objective of this, Beav, is to get the Clippers a title in Los Angeles.
Most definitely. And I would say this. Who was Darius Acuff's coach in college?
It was John Calipari.
His track record with guards is phenomenal,
yeah,
regardless of the size.
No, look at the size of his guards, though. SGA, big.
Darius Acuff Jr., and I'm going to put the
Tyrese Maxey is big, too.
I'm going to put the hype train behind him. He's going to be the first small, big body guard from his camp that can deliver a championship. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Acuff is going to be the type of player where I'm sitting here in the playoffs and I'm frustrated because I'm getting put out by him. That's the type of energy I feel like Acuff can bring to a team when he gets on the right team. Of course, he can go to the Kings and get lost in the shuffle. He can go to the Nets and get lost in the shuffle. But with the Clippers, I don't feel like he's going to be lost in the shuffle because, again, we can sit here and think that Gardens can be the focal point of this whole thing. But even I feel that Garland should get bigger.
Oh, sure. Garland's I don't think Garland can. You know, he's a small guard too. But I'm saying, why would you want two of them? You already have one.
I like the young guy better for some odd reason. I love it. I love his tenacity. I love his way of scoring. 3 levels.
I'm not denying that again. Like I like Acuff, but
he can't play defense. You know, if you put him in the middle of the ocean,
like that's a weak link in a playoff series. Like you know they're going to target him and put him in every single action.
Listen, either you're going to make or break yourself, right? Now, you said Flemings has not been on my radar for.
But he's a better defender, I will say. He's a better defender.
He hasn't been on my radar at all. Like he hasn't even touched my whole radar of thinking. My overall goal is, though, I hope Chicago, and it's been I would say sources, right? There's been a lot of chatter and noise that Chicago is in love with Acuff. And if that's the case, if Caleb Wilson falls down, my God.
I wish. I hope that does happen.
And this Brown train is not a train I want to ride. A lot of Clipper fans is high on Brown. I could be wrong, and I'm one of those Clipper fans or Clipper franchise reporter that if I'm wrong, I would honestly say I'm wrong, but I just don't feel that's a good fit. And then Keaton, it's so many question marks because again, with his workouts, either they say he stink or they say he's real good in his workouts, and that's a scary thing to have. It's too hot and cold. It's too hot and cold. Either they say he did real good or they say he really stinked. So what are you taking? What are you taking here? You say trade down. If you trade down, you getting more pieces that, again, now if you trade down, are you drafting pieces to fit around Garland? Because Kawhi got to be gone.
Okay. Listen, Beav, there's a lot of decisions here this offseason. And I think we're going to have this discussion again next week and the week after that until the draft. But I want to thank you for coming on, Beav. That was awesome. An awesome show talking about the Clippers. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. We have a lot more content like this coming out over the coming days and the coming weeks. So stay tuned here. We are live almost every night. My name is Grant Mona. I got Demetrius Beaver, Beav, at Leave It to Beav 31 on X. I'm at GMona48. Make sure you follow us. We cover the Clippers. Thank you so much for tuning into the Sporting Tribune today. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.